Yes.
Maybe.
Hey there, kiddos. Looks like you found your dad's anime stash. I'm assuming I'm hosting because I'm in the upper corner here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. You know, it's going to be a good one. Now he's gone. So you found a good episode. This is our review of Dragon Ball Z: Wrath of the Dragon, the absolute best Dragon Ball Z movie. With me in the studio this week is, as always, the Bushido Geek, Mark.
What's up?
We got Nick.
Hello.
Nick, where are you from?
Michigan.
No, I mean what podcast or
Build Bros.
Build Bros. You should
Yes,
probably
sir.
know that. Got returning guest Dustin from Anime of Yesteryear.
Hey, how's it going?
He's a circle.
I am.
How do you pronounce your name, guy next
Yeah, I
to
was waiting
Dustin?
for you. It's Claudian. I'm also a co-host on Bill Bros as well, and we have another show as well called Off the Runner, where we interview people basically one-on-one.
That sounds awesome. Have you interviewed anyone I would know?
I haven't interviewed you yet, so maybe we can make that
I'm
happen.
not the only person I know. I don't understand that invitation. I know Mark. Maybe you interviewed him.
Oh,
And then we've got CBXXL Builds.
Yep, I'm also from Build Bros.
I had a feeling. Do you want us to call you CBXXL Builds?
Or Steve, it doesn't matter. I've been called a lot worse either way.
I'm going to call you Steve. Sure. Maybe I'll call you Stevesy because I just watched The Life Aquatic the other night, and it was a pretty good movie. What do you think about that, Stevesy?
I'm in it.
That's good. All right, guys. So we all agree that this is the best Dragon Ball Z movie, right?
Yeah,
So
why? Nobody ever said.
Why do we agree that?
I don't think it's the best one personally myself.
Why
I
not?
feel the same way.
There's 12 others, and all of them are better, except for maybe the one, the Dead Zone.
How do you define best ever?
It had my favorite scene in a movie, in a Dragon Ball Z movie.
At the end?
Yes. So, I'm not going to stand here and try to defend the plot, which didn't make a lot of sense.
What plot?
Zero.
The plot was Trunks finds an adult who likes him even less than his father, so he follows him.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Come on, man.
And then there's I watched it twice to prepare for this, so I'd be super ready.
Are you into pain?
Hmm?
Are you into pain or something?
Like
Why would you watch it twice?
What is your problem, guys? Like, this is not that bad. I mean, it has the Dragon Fist, the coolest move in all of Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just a giant nuclear explosion.
Right, but it's in the shape of a dragon.
But in your fist.
In his fist, and it's gold.
In the shape of a dragon, yeah.
Looks
I
like
mean, that
Shenron.
was what the original title of it was called. So
Fist of the Dragon? Or the
Dragon
Fisting a
Fist
Dragon?
Explode or
yeah,
some
it was
shit.
something.
Probably
dragon,
fisting-
wasn't even dragon.
Probably
It was-
fisting a dragon.
Super exploding Fisting a Dragon?
Yeah.
I
My
would assume so.
question is on this:
Into
is
that.
this the only time that Goku's ever used that move? Because I don't believe it's been used any other part of any other
Mhm.
series.
Yeah, I mean,
Some video games.
He does
That's
it in
about
video
it.
games. But he does this move in Dragon Ball. It's just not a dragon. It's a
yeah, it's
monkey.
the Zaru.
It's the Ozaru. Yeah.
Interesting.
Is that an official term?
I
they
believe
ever
so.
say that in the show?
I'm pretty sure it's in the Daizenshuu.
Okay. But do they ever say it in the show? Do they ever
I
say
don't.
it
Oh yeah, I
in the
don't think so.
Funimation
think so.
dub?
I don't think so.
If it's not in the Funimation dub, I'm not in.
Does it count? Non-canon?
So the only thing
I think it's
so the only
only
things I
in
find
the
canon are Goku's
Funimation. Oh,
driver's license and
Oh
that
my
there were 8
God.
junior cells.
Aren't they making a Funko Pop of the driver's license episode? I believe they are.
They should.
I would
I'd be
probably
down
buy
for
that,
that.
though.
I could have
would.
sworn
Yeah.
I saw like something upcoming for Funko Pops where they are making Funkos off of Goku dressed up, and I guess they're gonna do one with Piccolo with like a ball cap backwards on his head or something.
I'm
I'm
in.
What
in
about
with
the
that.
actual driver's licenses themselves? Will they be included?
That I don't know.
It's probably more enjoyable than this movie.
It's on the box art.
Stop putting this movie down. You
Someone
guys
needs
just
to.
enjoy it for what it is.
Old Yeller that thing. Take it
I
out
would have
back.
to sit. I don't know.
I mean,
just
I also appreciate the dump truck for like taking rid of the garbage, but it doesn't mean that I have to like sit there and lick the garbage truck in appreciation for
but
it.
you do need to show some respect to garbage men who don't get enough respect because they're some of the most important people in our
This is
society.
true.
Oh yeah.
Maybe clean it up.
And my
So-
wife tells me I need to stop turning every podcast into a garbage man appreciation forum, but she's wrong.
They need more.
They need more. They deserve more.
I agree. I
Well-
would not do that job. So I'm
No.
glad that give them all of it.
I was gonna ask. So, how did you guys first watch Wrath of the Dragon? Because the two times I've seen it have been very interesting ways of watching it.
What
I
were
think,
those ways?
I think Toonami.
So, yeah, it was on Toonami many years ago. So, I actually originally found this as like a file on file sharing sites in the early 2000s, and it was a fan sub by I believe Centaur Fan Subs.
Oh,
So-
That's dicey.
Yeah, so like when I first saw it, like because halfway through at the end of this movie, Vegeta shows up, and the subtitles have him swearing like a sailor the entire time, which I found like, whoa, I didn't know Vegeta could swear. So,
you mean the Vegeta, the cameo he does? That's
yeah,
Yeah,
about
the
for
really
Yeah.
quick
second.
cameo.
as much as he gets.
I mean, like the joke is always that Goku's a deadbeat dad, but then Vegeta's the one that like, oh, I got to go train for like 3 years, and oh, I guess I have a kid to take care of.
The man just wanted his day off after a month.
I
That's all he
appreciate
wanted.
that, man. We can all identify with him wanting to take one day off a month.
Which is only
get
in the
it.
Funimation
Facts.
version, by the way.
That's
Just so everybody
fine.
knows.
Listen,
I-
Funimation version is
I'd
the only
argue that he
official
probably
version.
took a month off instead of a day led to a month, and Bulma is not really going to put her foot down on that. 'cause
Okay,
she
but on
knows
Planet
that's a losing
Vegeta,
battle.
a day lasts a month. It's hard for him to adjust.
Yeah, she can't do much to correct that. So that was the first time I saw it, and then today with my co-host, but he's actually not able to be on here right now. I thought he was, but we decided to watch the speedy dub of the movie. So if you don't know what the speedy dub is, it is the Malaysian English dub that is notoriously bad. Because I figured if
but
I'm
more
going to watch
accurate than
this
Funimation.
again, and I already saw it, subtitled. I think I've seen the Funimation dub once. I probably own it on DVD, still sealed. And because I'm like, oh, I'll get around to watching it, and that means that was like 10 years ago when I said I'd do it. But I was like, I don't want to see the Funimation dub. What's going to make it unique? And that's going to be the speedy dub. So in this one, there's a total of maybe 2 to 3 voice actors,
Oh,
and then
my
every
God.
character all sounds the same. And Goku talks really soft and slow like this. And they said of the dragon, the Shenron, they call it the Dragon Lord. And Trunks is like Trump or something, like, because they say it really weird. Because you got the guy with the sword who's like Trunk, and
Tapion.
but he says it like really
Tapion.
fast, like Trunk. You're here to take the sword. And it's really broken English, but it's on archive.org. Please find it. Please watch it for yourself, and get a good 45-minute laugh out of it. So
That
if you
is
want something really unique.
the first time I watched Fusion Reborn. I watched a dub like that, and Goku and Gohan were both called Gohan in it, and it was confusing.
Very.
Well, there's the speedy dub, and then there's also the what's considered the big green dub, which is another company that did it. And I don't know if they're based out of like the Pacific Island countries or like somewhere in Europe or whatever, but like Piccolo is referred to as Big Green.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Fair.
You can find clips of this on YouTube, so it's truly something to behold.
You
Big
can also find
brain.
this podcast on YouTube and
You
Facebook.
can. I wonder if there's like a bad lip version of it. It'd probably been the best dub if there is. You know what that is? Bad lip. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
Bad lip
Where they
reading.
just like entirely redo the dubbing for like
It's like
they just
abridged.
literally random words.
I mean,
It's like-
essentially, that's what it is, anyways. Is just bad lip reading.
Yeah. Let's. All right,
Listen.
guys. Funimation is great. We all love Funimation. They did a great job here.
Hell no.
Personally, I watched it on DVD, and
Mhm.
one of my favorite parts was the unskippable trailer for Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Go or whatever was for it.
Oh, that
Man, I need to find
show.
that movie. Looks so good. So apparently Tony Hawk gets kidnapped by the circus, but they don't
As
really
we all
say
do.
anything aside from that. And their website's down. So
The Tony Hawk website's down.
no, the Tony Hawk, the Boom Boom Sabotage website is down.
I mean,
So boomboomsabotage.com.
the last time he was on something was like Celebrity Wheel of Fortune and won a bunch of money because he's like actually pretty intelligent.
He
I had a
should
di-
have used it to renew his website.
To
Yeah.
pay for
Yeah,
the
for Boom
hosting
Boom.
for the website.
Yeah.
Everything was like, yeah, everything's for the kids in like the inner city or whatever. I'm like, why don't you fix your website to like your
Yeah.
crappy animation show so that we can refer to it on this podcast, please, Tony Hawk.
He's letting us down.
He,
He made a ton off of the THPS 1 and 2 remake. He could afford it.
Oh,
Oh yeah, they just put out
There's
the
no
remake like
reason
a
not
year
to
ago.
get this website going again.
he frequents Detroit often, I hear. He's always spotted in Detroit. That's where we're located, like right outside of Detroit.
If you
Guess
run
he's down
into
here a
him,
lot.
ask him about his Boom Boom Sabotage website.
We will.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
sure that's
demand
on the
it.
top of the list of things to remember.
We're gonna demand it
Yeah.
to come back. Actually,
Hold them accountable.
I don't even know when I watched it the first time. I assume it was probably rented, or I might have watched it.
I can
with
tell you right
Nick.
now, I
can-
rented it
I would-
from fucking Hollywood Video, which is a rental place that
Nice.
you can go to.
Oh,
Steve and
Good
I
throwback.
actually, and a bunch of our friends, it had just gotten released. We went
Stevezy.
up there, rented it, and that's how we all watched it.
Hollywood Video was like the video store that had like really obscure stuff that you
Yes.
would never
Yeah.
find at a Blockbuster. Because when
Mhm.
mine went out of business, I literally bought up like had like a really great selection of anime and horrendously out of print DVDs of like movies
Yeah.
that have never been released since then. So if you got your hands on it, you hold on to it. Like the original Walking Tall with what's
The
his name?
Rock?
But I think it was
And Sean William
no,
Scott?
no, not that one.
Not that one.
That's the remake of the one from like the
Oh.
70s with the guy that's like a former football player. I can't think of his name. But yeah, that's a remake from those movies, and they had like made 3 of them, and I saw them on
wow.
DVD at Hollywood Video.
No, they made
So,
like
like,
6
really-
of them, dude.
6
The
Walking
original?
Talls.
Yeah, because they
Hmm.
switched the actor after the first 3, and then I think they went direct to video. I don't know if it
Okay.
started direct to video, and now I think doesn't Kevin Sorbo do the Walking Tall movies?
At least he's staying in
Hercules?
City.
Hercules.
What?
So on Sci-Fi Channel, Walking Tall 15 on Sci-Fi.
I didn't even know he still walked.
I didn't know he was alive.
No,
Oh,
he does these Christian movies, so
Yeah,
like I
he's
see like
super
ads for
Christian.
it all the
Oh,
time.
Yeah.
He
was
does.
found or
He does
whatever.
Christian movies and he rants on Twitter.
That's awesome. Good for him.
Yeah.
He's keeping busy.
I'm glad
What a
to
class-
see he's doing
class
well.
act. Class act.
Well, I can tell you guys exactly when in fact, I can tell you literally by the minute when I first saw this, and that was about 23 hours and 57 minutes ago was when I first saw
Amazing.
this.
So
That was
fresh in your
exactly
mind.
the time that I put the DVD in, which I forgot I completely had all the Dragon Ball Z movies in those Funimation collections thing.
Yeah.
And he's speaking with Nick, like Nick was like, "Oh, if you have those, I think you have that movie." And I'm like, "Oh, no shit, I don't think I've even seen half the movies in there." And I
Do you,
broke the
do you
seal.
have the steel box?
No, they're just those They're those the plastic
cardboard
ones,
ones.
Like the
cardboard
three-
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I have. I
Yeah.
thought I'd gotten everything in the steel book, but I never did, and I don't know why. I need to get on that.
I broke that seal for you guys.
You need to get
Just
all
for
the
you
movies.
So Funimation is the anime company where you hoard their products and never open them, and that's where a majority surplus of their funds come from.
You just
People
buying
just
old
rebuying
DVDs.
their shit.
Yeah,
over
and
and over.
they've made what 10 releases of Dragon Ball Z, and it's still not perfect or whatever. That's kind of the running joke. But now that's
Yeah.
Crunchyroll's problem now, so they'll do a better
well,
job.
technically Sony because they own all of it now.
Sony owns
Oh.
everything now.
Mhm.
And sure, only a matter of time before
Animation-wise, yeah.
Disney buys them out.
They're
too.
like, we're losing the Marvel shit. Let's buy anime like crazy, everybody.
Well, I don't think it's any coincidence that I started this podcast, and all of a sudden Sony's like, "Oh, anime's big now. Let me get into that."
It's
Makes
the same
sense.
thing.
But it was definitely an experience watching that.
What was your
50-minute
favorite part, aside from all of it?
Obviously for me, actually, I there's some really good moments in there. I think, especially the whole scene with Trunk and what's his name, like
Tapion.
you're gonna have to kill me, like wow, this is actually a decent scene. It's like kind of, I guess, a little bit of there's been a little bit of a buildup of this relationship, so it kind of had a nice little payout and stuff, and that's about it really. I was so like my eyes were zigzag due to the weird color timing that they were doing with
Oh, yeah,
this
the
anime.
flickering
Like,
in the background.
not
Kinda
even
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but like literally like this color science. I was actually trying to look. I just got off of work, in fact, right before we started this, and I deliver as a day job, and I was like trying to figure out, like I was trying to find out like what kind of film stock this was on and what the timing, the color timing science they were using, because like everything was off, just quite like slightly off. I think they were trying to go for certain colors. I don't know if it's just because it's a DVD. I don't know if there's a Blu-ray remaster of an original print of this or what, but the coloring just was like
Well-
zigzaggy. Things looked too majestic.
Did you?
too
What kind of
signed.
DVD player did you play it in?
PS5.
Oh, see, that's your problem. It's trying to upscale.
You gotta go PS2.
Otherwise, it would have been pixel
Oh.
perfect.
You gotta go PS2.
You gotta-
Break
no,
up that
he's the
PS2,
idiot.
The only
boys.
way.
You know,
Alright, well-
PS3 works just as well.
I got the
my
Xbox
PS
X Series. Maybe that might have worked.
PS2 works better.
Put it in your
actually, with the
toaster.
DVD
It'd be
player.
better.
My PS3 is literally my Blu-ray media player, DVD player at this point. It's been ever since I got the 4. It's like I just have the 3 to just pop in USB sticks and play video files on it. So
Hmm.
that's its sole purpose in life right now.
Mine
I mean-
collects dust.
I mean, my
in the
TV
living room.
is a 4K, the Sony X something. I was like,
Yeah,
Over
so
$2
you
grand
gotta
for
you gotta
the-
bust out a CRT.
I must have.
And
Yeah,
then
that's probably what it
if you
was.
can, if you
Yeah.
can,
That-
don't
that-
just hook
yeah,
up the
true,
DVD
true.
player directly.
Mhm.
Hook up a VHS player
Yeah.
with a coax cable.
I
Run
was
the
so-
RCA cables.
Yeah,
to-
don't do component.
VHS.
Do old
Yeah.
school. Yes,
yeah, and then it'll look the way
you
Toriyama
remembered it
intended.
because I
The real-
remembered it
the real way
24
to
hours
watch it.
ago. So I don't have that.
Jesus.
It's that simple, guys.
It really is though.
Love the Aquino Time music, and that was fun. The
I like
Oh,
I
God,
like
yeah.
Ocarina of Time music. I thought it was weird
Yeah,
that
I liked it too.
Tapion and his brother, whose name I can't remember,
Minosha.
Minosha.
oh
I knew it had ocean in it. Minosha looks like a version of Tapion drawn for a different anime.
oh yeah, it's definitely from
Dragon
that
Quest
that
shit.
game.
Oh yeah.
I also love how
Chrono.
they just
Chrono
very
Trigger.
gloss
Chrono
Trigger.
Trigger.
Definitely Chrono Trigger. Yeah.
they very quickly gloss over the whole my brother's dead thing. Like,
Yeah.
within like 5 seconds. He's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, I
That
assume he's
happened.
dead, so we can move on.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
I got like
Then
no
they
point
don't
in
explain
looking.
how the
Demon
bottom
Enemy.
half comes
I know.
back.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Well,
I guess.
at least you got the top half. That would have been really weird if you had the bottom half. I'm just gonna say, guys.
Yeah, right. Also,
That's
what was the
very-
point of the bottom? Like, also, how was the bottom half eating people?
Well, the tentacle things.
It's
But like,
butt.
where are they going?
I didn't
You
know.
don't
Out of the tentacle thing.
And how does
into the
his
top.
ass know where everyone was at? Like,
Oh, because the little
Yeah.
goblin dude was like,
Hoy,
yes.
He was pointing
Hoy
the
was
ass
just
at
kind of there, but like,
Oh yeah, that's true.
Where are the auditory sensory organs on this ass?
No,
Yeah.
he's like the Carnage symbiote, guys. He can see from all around his body.
oh,
Wasn't there an episode of South
Oh.
Park where like they figured out a way to like eat through their butt and then like
yes,
poop out
and
their
poop out their
mouth?
mouth.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the centipede
That's-
man.
Cartman tries it
that's
as
what
like a
was
joke,
happening
and
in
then it
this.
works. And
That was
That's the
Harudigan's whole
centipede.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
those disgusting films, Centipede Man, whatever.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a skit from a like Malaysian horror film called The
The
Centipede Man.
human centipede or whatever.
Yeah,
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure what that was.
Once was enough for that movie for me.
yeah.
Very
Now they're
interesting.
like what?
film.
Speaking of which, they're like on number 7 now or something. Just like
Yeah, they have a couple.
I thought they stopped at 3. I only knew about 3.
Oh, I had no idea. I was literally just pulling up a number on my ass.
I thought they stopped
No
at
pun
3. And I
intended.
thought Eric Roberts was in part 3, but I never got around to
I
watching
think
it.
you're right. I mean, I
He's in
knew
every
about
scene.
2, and then I think I saw a clip of 3 once, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good."
I watched part 1 and I was like, nah, I'm good. But then part 2 came out and I watched part of it, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch any more of this.
hmm
I love how we're talking about like technically way worse films than this movie. Just,
Yeah.
let's just show the love for this.
I don't know though, but
Full circle.
like-
It comes full
Dragon.
circle.
let's from a technical standpoint, the Human Centipede movies are probably pretty good, right?
Comparatively, yes.
I mean,
from a
I mean,
technical
this-
standpoint, yeah.
technical. Yeah.
Well, from like makeup and stuff, they're pretty good. I think.
Oh,
I, just
I
wanna
don't
be
think
the
they
last.
actually
I
made
got
Human
limits. I've
Centipedes.
actually never watched any of them, so technically.
I've only
I've
watched the first one.
seen the first 2, I think.
Yeah, same. Don't know why.
I can do Hostel or Saw, but I can't do that. So
You saw really ran its course after part 1, though.
first 3 were pretty decent. Then I went to the more spoilers for a completely different series. And then went like onto the FBI and the guy, and then I'm like, wow, okay, this show is definitely ran its course.
What
I
was the
stopped
one where
watching after part 1, but at the end, doesn't it turn out that it was like everything that happened in all the movies was pretty much going on during the time frame of the first one?
some weird shit?
They did that for a while, and then there's like then the sequels, but then you find out that's like a whole group of people that are like survivors, and they're the ones doing it. Except for the very last one with Chris Rock before he got slapped by Will Smith.
Yeah.
That one.
That was part of Jigsaw's
that one
plan
was
too.
kind of like
Yeah,
just
that
a
was his last one.
revisioning, sort of.
Come on, that was fake, guys.
Yeah.
He leaned into it.
He did.
Mark, you've been watching pro wrestling for 30 years. You know that was fake.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
We need to bring in our expert or slap expert.
Yeah.
You gotta get that open chest palm slap.
Jesus.
But no, I did not hate this movie at all. For like 50
I didn't hate
minutes,
it. I don't know what these people are
50
talking
minutes,
about.
it's just,
just-
fine. Yeah.
They're just trying to be cool and edgy.
I mean,
and they're coming across as dorks.
zero key animation at all, except for the hallway scene. I was like, wow, they actually are doing some key animation. Holy crap. And then the rest of it's just flat again. I'm like, oh, never mind. Sweet. All right.
Well, this is movie 12. They're running out of money.
Oh, and then they straight up
Well,
literally reused assets from another movie.
Yeah, fusion.
Whatever.
Well,
yeah.
see, here's the thing with Toei. They do everything on the cheap. I think as someone has once said, if we had to rely on Toei to save the world by making something well animated, we are effed.
That's for sure.
Well, they did
Aside from
13 movies, 12.
oh shit. The Battle of the Gods.
Well, no, that one
was
was
pretty good.
They
Yeah,
went
it was
all out on
whatever-
that. but-
Well,
There-
That was
that was
good.
And
overseen
they
kinda had
by
to.
Toriyama too.
whatever the last one or the one with I think it might have been the last one with Broly. Was that was actually
Oh,
there was
Bio
parts
Bros
of
are
it
really
that there was
good.
parts of it that was really really good, and other parts where it's like, yep, they skipped on animation.
So Battle of the Gods was actually funded by Japan. So they I don't think they skipped out anything for that for fear of going to jail. But Broly's not the last one. Don't forget, Superheroes just came out. Why are y'all making
I'm
that
not.
face?
I don't like the animation on it.
No, the animation's fine. I don't like Gohan. They need to just stop trying to make him work. He doesn't work. He's not a good character. He hasn't been since Cell Saga. Just leave it alone. Let him
What
die.
about in this movie?
How is he weaker than Super Saiyan 3
Yeah,
Goku?
which that didn't even
Yeah.
make any sense. Goku kills him in Super Saiyan 3, but Gohan gets slapped.
Well,
Because this is after Boo.
Yeah, this is supposed to be after
Yeah,
Boo.
Supposed to be.
this is after Boo, yeah. So he should, with his mystic form, he should be pretty.
And
pretty
and when
pumped.
they went Super
But-
Saiyan, if you watch it, he does go into his little thing because his little bang is like pew. So the whole thing was weird. I didn't understand it.
But it doesn't. The strongest doesn't always win. You know,
Clearly. No.
Yeah, I guess.
Gohan, was about to sneeze and he took a slap, and that was the end of him. And
Yeah,
Goku had to do it.
he just got caught off
Got
guard.
just got guard, yeah.
I mean, you got to think.
I mean, Vegeta
Super
did the
Saiyan
least
3
out of
though, thanks.
Vegeta did the least out of anyone.
Yeah, he just protected a bunch of people with a big ass
Yeah,
bubble.
Like,
It
and then
was-
ran
it was
out
a
of and then
bunch
ran
of-
out of energy.
Yeah,
It was a
Vegeta
bunch
wasn't even
of-
supposed to be here that day.
It was
Yeah.
a bunch of office workers that just sat around and watched their city get destroyed.
yeah. They're like,
Never
"Oh, shit,
bothered to
what's going
occur to
on?"
them that we should probably leave the city like 20 minutes ago.
Those were the animators. They had to finish the film.
That makes a
Fair
lot more
point.
sense.
Probably went to the Chinese branch of Toei. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
we don't want to bother with this. Let's just.
Yeah, we're done.
We got some assets you can use too. Assets, yeah. Go ahead.
Got some paper mache. Just make it work.
Yeah. So
It's,
unfortunately, I'm not gonna scream to the hill about this one. So,
No.
I mean, there's
This
definitely
wasn't
worse.
everyone's favorite. What's everyone's favorite Dragon Ball Z movie?
2 World's Strongest.
I actually some reason really always liked Tree of Might. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was good too.
I like
that's
History
my
of Trunks.
Pretty
That's
much
also-
the first 2 and 3.
History of
Always
Trunks
good.
wasn't a movie.
It was a
That's also
TV
my answer.
special.
I thought it was a
Try
movie.
again.
Oh,
Tree of Might is also my answer.
Yeah.
I've always loved
What?
that movie.
You guys are ridiculous.
Listen,
I remember like
Listen.
I remember
Tree of Might.
Look, it's okay to be
remember-
wrong.
like they had the what was it, World's Strongest, Tree of Might, and Dead Zone that was on like Toonami
Yummy.
like summer of '99 or something. I remember we watched. I remember
Oh,
like in middle
Path
school
to
watching that.
Power, Path to Power. That one's really good.
Path to Power. The
See,
Yeah,
I
that's-
haven't
that's really
seen
good.
anything with like Lord Slug. I haven't seen the.
Lord
Looks
Slug's
like
good
not
too.
great.
Okay, I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen the Brawly movies, and those are kind of
Brawly, yeah.
forgettable. Shoot, I mean, like I saw the first Brawly movie in theaters when they released it, like before Battle of Gods.
Actually,
can't
saw
tell you what
Battle of
happens
Gods
in that movie.
theaters. I did see that in the movie theater.
Yeah, I mean, I
Did
saw
they
Battle
play
of Gods in
Pantera?
theaters too.
That's got to be disappointing to go see a movie in the theater and then it's 61 minutes.
I didn't
long.
pay for it. So
Okay, that's better.
no, and that's the other thing about this is I typically have a rule that I don't see anything really like go in the theater, see anything that's like 2 hours, like less than 2 hours, because I feel like it's just a waste of my time and they're stealing my money. And
Essentially,
so
I don't like to see any movie that's longer than 2.5 hours.
I agree with that
No.
completely. Yeah, everything has to be like everything has to be about a 3.5 hour movie, and I'm like, why? There's no need.
I feel like if it gets to a certain point, you should have just made a TV show.
Or
guess
like a
that's-
mini
yeah.
series or something. Like shoot, I mean, I'm watching the what was it, Avengers Endgame, and I'm just like halfway through it. I'm like, all right, my butt's falling asleep. This has to end like right now, and it just
Yeah.
kept going.
yeah,
My butt itches. When's this gonna end?
The only exception I made was the new Spider-Man movie because they had so many Spider-Mans.
Wait,
That
was
was
that
good.
it? But that wasn't a 3 hour movie, was it?
no 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's longer than 2.5.
It was still
Oh,
really
yeah.
good to see Tobey Maguire reprise his role. Like I was
I guess
like
10
the
minutes
whole
of credits.
the theater cheered for that moment.
Yeah, they hit you
Look,
with that
my only-
nostalgia.
What I would have changed in that movie is I would have brought Tobey Maguire in sooner, like first scene.
Just
I'll-
made it his movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh please, that would definitely make up for Spider-Man 3 that he did with Venom.
dark Peter.
Oh,
Parker.
the fucking
emo
emo.
emo
Yeah.
Tobey
Yeah,
Maguire.
emo
Listen,
Tobey Maguire. Yeah,
I'm
I
not gonna-
remember.
I'm not
I-
going to say that Toby dancing was good, but it made more sense than a lot of people gave it credit for.
Yeah.
Because that's what Peter Parker thought cool people did.
Yeah. In 2004.
Yeah, I mean, he was a nerd, obviously.
Yeah.
For those who weren't even born yet, just watch that. That's what we thought was cool in 2004.
You know, no, Spider-Man 2
We
is
were all
still the one
dancing
that
the spider dance.
Spider-Man 2 with Dr. Octopus is still like by far my favorite Spider-Man film, I think.
Yeah.
Because I saw that like I think twice in like the same I saw the movie twice in the same week, or maybe within like a 48-hour period. Because I saw it with friends, and then I hung out with them, and then like when I got home, I was like, "Dad, we got to see Spider-Man." He's like, "Okay," and so then we just saw it again. And I just have fond memories of Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3 was like my brother and I went and saw it. I was like, "Wow, that was not as good."
It was not very good, and you didn't need Venom after Spider-Man 2.
There was
like I know Doc Ock is not Venom, but it was the same premise as a Venom.
Yeah, I mean, like there was already so much. There was already so much he had to deal with Sandman or whatever, and then they just threw, and then so he had to fight villains at 2 separate occasions to just drag that theater out or that movie out.
Well, we had to see it because we're out. All 3 of us are obviously from Michigan, so obviously Sam Raimi, native Michigan.
Well, you don't have to see everything that Michigan people make.
Well, yeah, only Sam Raimi though. We all have to see.
He's the only one that went far.
Yeah,
only one who left Michigan.
Yeah, until Doctor Strange.
As a whole, you're stuck
until
here
Doctor Strange, and then it was like, oh, and then now the 2-hour movie that felt like a 3-hour movie, and I was like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, Sam Raimi? Why does this feel like a 3-hour movie? It's only 2 hours.
In Spider-Man 3, everybody hated the new Goblin, but I was all right with him.
Oh, Hobgoblin?
Harry as the Goblin.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, essentially, that's what they ended up doing in the comics with who was it? Robbie Roberts? I forget who. One of the dudes became the Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin, yeah.
And then he was a good guy as one and the bad guy as the other. I want to say it was Robbie Roberts, but I wouldn't swear to it.
I mean, that rings a bell. I feel like you're like, I feel like that's correct.
We'll say it's correct. No one can correct us.
Yeah, I mean,
what are we gonna do?
Once you say
it's correct, we got the final say. So
we've got the mics, man. We can say whatever we want.
We have the power.
Yeah, you bring your mics, then we'll listen. Maybe, probably not. No.
Dustin, what was your favorite Dragon Ball movie?
I really don't have one. I mean, I've seen I haven't seen all of them, but I really don't know.
It is impressive how they made 13 movies with the same plot.
I mean,
well, they had the same guy overseeing all the movies. Noba. Oh God, I don't even want to attempt it.
Then don't.
There is somebody that was like overseeing all of the movies until the creator was like, I'm gonna go and oversee this one. Like, and that was, I believe, we're going back to what Battle of the Gods, I believe.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's why they appear to be the same. They were literally overseen by the same guy.
Well, it is the same. It's the same plot essentially. Goku gets beat up for a while, and then
he does the scream.
He screams, and he doesn't get a new form, and then he wins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, the only one he got a new form in was even Lord Slug.
Lord Slug. He gets that
all
Super Saiyan. Yeah. Where he goes Kaioken with his hair standing up.
Yeah.
I remember that's the one where Piccolo rips his ears off, right?
Yeah, so Gohan can whistle. It was just
so
the weirdest thing.
I forgot about that. Oh, jeez.
Deagon should have used his ears instead of the ocarina.
So since he brought that scene up, I have done panels at cons. I did a bad dubbing panel last year at Anime Week in Atlanta. And I brought in that scene, but it was the speedy dub for it. So it's even more ridiculous, and you can find that on YouTube actually. So it's wonderful. Like there's the narrative where King Kai comes in, and so someone decided to put subtitles with it to try to like basically what they hear that they think King Kai is saying, and the words were like, as you can see, black people dislike the sound of rubbing glass. It cuts through any other phase. And you would think that's what the actual dubbing, like he's actually saying, and the speedy dub. So I play that, and the whole crowd is going wild because of how ridiculous that is.
Yeah, it's like those bad lip readings.
That's why I was like, yeah, bad lip. I wonder if there are out there.
Definitely
That'd be
check
hilarious.
that out online. I think I do remember my favorite Dragon Ball movie, Dragon Ball Z movie, and that's going to be Dragon Ball Evolution.
That's yeah.
Goated.
Oh god,
Best thing ever.
I paid to see that. I was so fucking hurt.
So I paid to see it, and I saw it while there was a tornado going.
Probably
Actually,
the best way to see
I
it.
think I only saw
Yeah.
a work print version of that. I don't think I even saw the final version of that movie. It was so
Ooh,
bad.
Interesting.
I was
I
just like,
was
it was like a bootleg of the work print.
I mean, my friends and I I was like, I know what we're expecting in it for it to be total crap, and it was. And it's not like I came out of there and I was disappointed. I was like, but I got everything I expected it to be. It turned out to be crap, so I can't get mad at myself. And then I bought it for like 99 cents when my Blockbuster was closing down. So I'm like, I don't feel like I'm missing too much by spending 99 cents on Dragon Ball Evolution. I think I did
give them
okay.
their money.
Bought a
Yeah.
McChicken.
Don't give your hard-earned money to them.
Well, who was he giving the money to? Blockbuster at that
Well,
point.
I was
They're
talking
shutting
about like
down.
the theaters and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I saw
Yeah, I
that. I
paid
think
more
we
to
all
see
saw
in
that in
theaters.
theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like it, but it was basically the prequel to Shameless, so at least we got that going.
Oh
for
my
us.
god.
That's true. Justin Chatwin was in there.
I do remember
Bill
this.
Lemmy Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
remember that
That's
Dragon Ball Evolution left it open for a sequel, and we're just going. I was like, oh dear God, like it's never going. It's never going to happen. But at least they put it out there.
I
Never say
haven't
never.
seen the movie since it came out, but I remember the dragon looking good. Am I thinking of something else?
No, that dragon did not look good in Dragon
Okay,
Ball.
You think of the
something
origin
with
story?
Dragon
Piccolo
Wars.
did, like, it
The
was so
dragons and Dragon Wars looked pretty good.
The dragons in
movie with
Reign of Fire
Christian
were
Bale?
excellent.
Rain in front.
Oh,
Rain
that's
of-
what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
Reign of
Fire
Fire.
is sweet.
Reign of Fire. Christian Bale took out an axe and went head on against a
Mhm.
dragon.
Yeah.
That is badass.
Yeah, I mean he's
What was
Batman.
that- What was
The
that other
very
movie?
Batman thing to do.
Dragonheart?
That was wait, what?
Oh, Dragonheart was so CG. Terrible.
Dragonheart.
Well,
the-
but Sean Connery has played the voice, so
Yeah, Dragonheart was great. Dragonheart
I thought that
my
movie was
favorite
awesome.
movie
Yeah.
for many, many years as a young man until I
The
watched the movie
Dragonheart.
Arthur.
You say? Yes.
I think there's another one out now too, like a newer
Oh,
one.
there's like 4 of them, 5 of them. Sci-fi just
Just kept
puts them
going.
out every fucking 2 years.
I'm
I
hoping
saw,
that
I
out.
every
saw
two-
part
two
1 and I
years.
saw part 2, and I didn't like part 2, so I gave up.
There's probably like 4
Part
out
2
there.
had the kid from Malcolm in the Middle as a dragon, I think. I wouldn't swear to that though.
Which one?
Frankie Muniz. Like,
I feel like it was Frankie Muniz, but I feel like that wouldn't work. But then again, when I think about it, it was like an adolescent dragon, so maybe it was.
Oh, he was the voice?
I think so.
Because his voice is so specific that people will be like, "Oh, that's obviously from the guy from the show." Like,
Yeah, I think
matter.
that's crazy. That's just crazy. Like,
I feel like that's what happened, but maybe I'm just getting confused.
yeah.
Anyway, it's not a great movie. I wouldn't recommend it.
I don't
I'll
mind
just
him too, like
spoil it for
Jeffrey
you guys.
Irons
The
or
dragon has
something.
the ice lung.
Get him right after the D&D movie. Be like, "Hey, Jeffrey, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great.
I was thinking
He's like,
about
"I
that
get to
D&D
do the
movie.
voice, as long
I'm
as it doesn't
not
bomb."
going to say anything about it.
I can do the voice." Yes, you can do the voice.
dude, the Dungeons and Dragons movie was fucking sweet. It had a little, one of those DVD games you could play. Like,
Yeah,
I do, yeah. Like to get to the extra credits, you had to like
yeah,
do a video game tutorial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for those who are like young and never have the experience of a DVD, there actually used to be things called menus and like actual like visual effects in the menus instead of the plain. This is a Paramount product, like you get now on Blu-rays, which I never understood why.
Play
They don't.
now. Chapter
Yeah, play
selection,
now. Scene
extra.
selection.
Extras that don't matter to anything. Yeah.
Your special
watch
feature.
the credits again. Here it
Yeah,
is.
but you remember
here's a
that
picture of the poster. Here's your special feature for this disc.
some
Go to
movies
disc
had
2.
secret menus.
Oh yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah,
true.
Terminator. Yeah, you put in like the end of the like when the Judgment Day was supposed to happen, and then you'd get like there was like an alternate. There's an alternate scene, I think, in the movie that
I
it
figured
triggered.
Do you get anything for putting in Kyle Reese's code or ID number or whatever?
I think so. I think there was like a slew of Easter eggs in that.
Which is the only thing I know.
Which
Movies used to be so fun. Now they're just long.
Which
Mhm.
now you
Yeah.
can all thank the Rocky Horror Show movie for having Easter eggs in DVDs.
Oh, I was like, wait, what? For them being
'cause
long?
that
That
is
movie
where-
wasn't long.
because that is where Easter eggs came from. The whole idea of that.
Well, I mean, someone would have invented it.
Yeah,
I mean, Austin Powers had it, so
Austin Powers did have it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what Rocky Horror? So that was what 1973.
yeah, but not the
74?
DVD.
Oh,
Unless you have a time machine like Bulma.
Unless you're doing
but the
time
idea
warp,
of
man.
Time machines.
but Easter eggs came from the set of
The time machine in that
Rocker,
movie didn't even make sense.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. So
We're good.
So is Dragon Ball Wrath of the Dragon so good that we're going to talk about other things?
other
than-
completely everything.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
but.
Listen,
But
even if this is my favorite movie, it's still 60 minutes long.
oh well, you must have
You
had the
wanna
extended
synopsis
cut.
of the
I got
plot?
the I got the 49-minute.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Maybe it's 49 minutes.
Yeah.
I just it
With
did seem
credits.
pretty short.
They rolled off
I
the
just-
tongue.
It's probably an hour with the credits. I looked up the runtime today, and it was an hour and 1 minute.
I read
was
the
it?
back of the box.
Yeah.
That's weird. I was actually more interested in the anime that they were advertising for that before the actual movie. And I was like,
What
oh,
were they advertising?
I wish I listen. I was like I said, it's been 24 hours since I watched it, so I was kind of like not quite there.
I remember Tony Hawk's
100%.
Boom Sabotage, man.
It wasn't that. It was a legit anime, which is bizarre that you had a different opening than mine.
I'm thinking that.
It must be
That's very
based on a
weird.
printing.
They
Yeah,
reprinted
yeah,
that movie
definitely.
like so many fucking times. It's been in
Yeah.
like 30 different box sets.
Yeah.
Like it's all
Every
different.
time Tony Hawk puts out a new movie, they reprint Wrath
They
of the
just
Dragon.
reprint.
yeah, it's just it's
It just
only
comes with
released
it.
that.
It's ritual. It's part of the deal.
You were saying, Nick, the time machine in that. Like he was getting into that time machine at the end, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
What's
It
the
didn't
plan?
make any sense. Like he got his ass beat. You're gonna go back without your sword and get your ass beat again?
Yeah.
Like now there's just two of you getting your ass beat instead of one.
Yeah.
So what?
He doesn't have the flute anymore.
Yeah, or that.
Yeah.
It, like they were like, and then they made like a throwaway statement that made no sense. They're like, "Oh, do you feel this key?" And I was like,
Yeah, that's probably Funimation. Like if any
Oh, yeah,
anything
no,
that was like that
100%.
with 100% Funimation, just changing shit. Like
"Yeah," but like, and then how does he know how to operate it? She's just like, "Yeah, you just pull back on the throttle and make sure it dings or whatever before you go." Like,
I feel like, listen, you're talking about the chick who built a machine that hides him in his sleep in one night. She
Yeah,
probably
one night.
she's Bulma's probably the smartest person on earth. She probably built it pretty easy.
I mean, not only that, but she
I-
probably wrote the instructions on a notepad and just put it in
She's
there
like,
and be
"Here's a
like, read
sticky
this.
note."
This is what
But-
yeah, a sticky note. That's all. She kept it as simple as possible.
but they didn't know that he was probably that Trunk was probably seeing the dude. So talk about that. Talk about irony there.
yeah, and then they just fan serviced us with the fucking sword at the end. They're like, "We're gonna throw this character away, so here's your sword." And it's
Yeah.
like,
The whole movie was a plot to how Trunks got his sword. So
yeah, pretty much. That's why it was so
Well-
weird and long and like weird spots. Like, why?
When none of that happened, though, like, I
Yeah,
like,
it's not canon.
Well, no,
because
none of the
that-
movies are. None of them.
Yeah, and none of the dubbings except for the the Malaysian version or whatever version. That's the only canon version.
No,
the big
Yep,
green
yeah,
one.
that's the superior
Yes,
dub.
that was
I will
brought up
stand by
earlier.
that.
Yeah.
The Funimation dub is the only thing that's canon. Even the Japanese admit that.
Yeah.
There you go.
What are you talking about? Saiyan, what is that? The Saiyan team instead of
The
properly Saiyan?
Science, dude,
Saiyan.
I hate that.
We're the
character. I hate
Saiyan. I'm like,
that
what?
so
Like, you mean
much.
Saiyan? Like,
Well,
They're
I
saying-
mean,
Hey.
I will never call them Science ever. They're saying.
I mean, cyan is
called
a
cyan.
color that you use for printing.
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
Cyan, but spelled different though. Like that's CYN.
so is Night and
Yeah,
Night, but you say them the
CYAN.
same way,
And
buddy.
this one's like S. I don't
So-
know how they
so
spell
crazy
it.
you would bring up
SIA.
Because I watched some Nightmare on Elm Street movies and I didn't realize there was a person named Tuesday Night. Such a crazy name.
Dude, I can't even imagine that.
My
Damn.
middle name.
It's a real
The
name.
amount of jokes that can come from that is never ending.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure she understood that.
So
at one
let's just
point
say
in her
they've
life.
all been said.
Dude, I was at Denny's or something earlier, and this little girl's name was Alexa, and the mom just kept yelling, "Alexa, come over here!" And I was
Wow.
like, "This would have like if she has an echo, she's gonna have a really
Fucked.
hard time."
When you
I
say
didn't
little
quite
girl,
get that.
Like, how old is it? You're thinking younger than 10?
Oh yeah, easily. She was
Oh,
like,
that's just a terrible thing to do.
Oh,
anymore.
what a
Yeah.
terrible parent! Don't even
Dick.
name your kid Alexa
dude,
Yeah.
or Karen.
My next one's named
Or
Siri.
Kyle?
Fuck it.
Destiny
like what the fuck?
or Ginger.
What?
What?
Ginger.
What?
What?
Don't name your kid Jenna.
What?
Ginger Snap? Nobody's ever watched
Are you
Ginger
against
Snap?
that?
Oh, Ginger Snaps Back and all that shit. That's that film series. Yeah, the werewolves.
The
thing.
werewolves? Yeah.
Nah, I've seen that.
That's not a super well-known film series. So you
yeah,
probably get away with it.
yeah, I'm really
Claudian
curious
likes
to-
very obscure things.
yeah.
It's not good, but it's not terrible.
I do like cinematography and film production and stuff, and plus a bunch of other things. So that's why I was like trying to hunt down what kind of film stock they use in the process for this, because the coloring just blew my mind of like their decisions for this.
I
This
think
one.
it,
Like,
it- again,
I'm
would depend on
sure.
printing that you got.
I'm sure the film stock probably wasn't a decision. It's just whatever was on clearance.
whatever they literally had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, it'll work.
whatever.
That'll do.
16 millimeter they had just sitting around. Like, oh, we got this 16 millimeter here. Oh, is it any good? No, it's just sitting down. You know. I can't
And
do
the amount of, I think they filmed a lot of their stuff in 35. 16's for
that's
TV, I
expensive.
think.
I don't think they would have processed. I think they would have done
good
16
point.
millimeter for anime. No, I don't think they even were doing that for Godzilla movies, which was
Yeah,
like
this
their
movie was
biggest-
released in '95, so they're definitely not.
I didn't
trying
like.
to
Here's the
do
thing:
shit.
like 35 millimeter, maybe for the first film in the franchise, but at this point, no.
No, oh, no, you could tell they were just using.
They used
rehash-
toilet paper
assets.
basically.
I was gonna
Just
say, they
drew
just
cells
used
on
toilet
them and
paper.
just ran it.
Well, I just literally wonder, like, sorry, it's just something that I was just curious about, like, just being in the room when they were like, "Oh, here are color designs. This is going to be magenta. This is going to be red. This is going to be this." It's like, oh, okay, you know. And then they like, I don't know, they shipped it off to like China, and China just like misread it and was like, "Oh, well, they meant these values." And
They
then
played
it
telephone
just,
with the colors.
it just came off
No,
real
what they
weird.
did
like,
was they're like, "Listen, these guys are Saiyans." So China was like, "All right, everything's
Oh.
going to be in cyan." On it.
Everything.
yes, Ryan Reynolds.
I believe we have
Our hero, Ryan Reynolds.
communication.
I think they had a lot of them. And then they were like trying to give you a seizure in the background, like constantly. There would be like one or two spots that were like fucking flickering just constantly. And it was like hard for me to watch for a while. I was like,
What's the thing?
Ugh.
After Pokemon came out, that was like
Oh.
the big thing in Japan, was trying to give kids seizures.
oh yeah, with the Porygon episode.
They were all trying to one up each other. Every production company.
How fast
Well,
can you make it happen?
Supposedly that's all a hoax, maybe. I don't know. I think one kid had a seizure, and then there's some
That
people that are on this
seems like the kind of
conspiracy
thing
that
that
it
would
didn't happen.
Funimation to
It's
put
weird.
that in the warning. May cause seizure.
I mean, to be fair, most things from that time period were blown way the fuck out of proportion. Like,
Yeah.
there was episodes that had to be changed. Like Yu-Gi-Oh had guns in it. They took that out. Pokemon
Well,
had guns in it at
They
one point.
censored
they took
yeah,
that
they
out.
censored guns. I mean
They censored.
Yeah.
Well,
They censored James's
everything.
boobs. I can't
James's
believe it.
boobs, yeah. Like
They censored cussing, people.
Well, yeah, that's
They censored the cussing. We need cussing.
But
Back
to be
in
fair,
Dragon
like
Ball.
the seizure thing would have been just like the perfect time for things to get blown out of proportion, because that's when the
Yeah.
internet was getting big,
yeah.
and that's when everyone could get on Yahoo Messenger and talk about how their cousin had a seizure from watching Porygon.
Yeah, basically early days of trolling. And
Yeah,
just
pretty
see how
much.
far it can go.
I also love that. I don't know if you caught this, but so like you know everyone here knows or understands the cigarette burn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
cigarette, Nick.
yeah,
are
they
you
burn
It's for
things.
editing purposes.
Oh,
I don't know if
no.
everybody here does. Okay, so
Yeah,
like
for Fight Club.
filming, they would I guess Fight Club they do explain that what the purpose of that is. But I just saw it was funny when I saw the cigarette burn, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna cut to another roll. Like, I just thought that was hilarious. Like they just took it from a projected film stock and just kept it. Like they didn't even
What
like.
are you sure we had the same version, man? Like, was yours
Yeah.
filmed by
Yeah, there's
someone
a
at a
cigarette
movie
burn.
theater?
Claudian, did you make
That's-
your own and like duct tape it
drew it,
together?
yeah, I drew it,
And
yeah.
like,
I-
he's like,
I
I had
noticed-
different intros. He's like, there was weird porno in the
I
beginning
did
of it. Like,
Yeah,
I noticed like when the
I have
version,
Malaysians downstairs, they just dub my stuff. For me.
yeah,
Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
Because I know, like the version I was watching, like there was these like black spots, like randomly in the film.
Yeah,
from
it's
time to
It was
time.
toward the it was toward the right side. That's like your typical for a 16 millimeter burn.
Oh,
where they would
interesting. Because
burn it.
I saw that a few times.
So they must have like literally lost the original. They may have lost the original stock, and they must have had a full
oh, there we go.
theater cut, full theater version. So the film one that you had seen in the theater has been pre-processed and just duplicated. It's a duplicated version. So
Right.
it's not original stock. So they may have lost the original film. Who knows? And that might be why there might have been color issues too. Because once
Well-
you start
Sounds right.
duplicating,
Here-
the
That
colors
sounds like
start.
something that would happen.
Here-
in
here's the
Dragon
thing
Ball
with
Z.
here's the thing.
Sorry,
with
I'm real
Japan-
technical. Like,
Here's the thing with Japan and their own content. They'll file it away and mislabel it, and then no one knows where it is for years. Like, take, for example, Project ACO. So, the Project ACO release that just came out from Discotech is because of those masters, thanks to Robert E. Woodhead of Anime Ego, who was like, wait, I think I know. I think he was looking for something and came across that and goes, this looks important.
yeah,
and
but
Discotech was
studios don't
was
keep them, though.
painstakingly trying to upscale what has been publicized for years on DVD, VHS, and then he's like, yeah, here's these masters for this. You might need it, and he
Yeah.
became like a national hero overnight. For
Because
Project ACO.
the major studios won't keep those stocks, so they'll get rid of them eventually. They don't
Yeah.
even care because they don't have value to them. It's really weird. Like when they did this stuff, especially in the 80s and 90s, they really weren't
70s and
caring.
80s,
Like,
yep.
yeah, they weren't like they were like, this is just something. This is a one shot, and that's it. Like,
Wait, so like they probably don't have the original stock to speed?
well, the only one I know they kept because I've seen the original stock is like Akira, because Akira was like there's so much money put into it, and they actually have the original cells to Akira.
There,
Well, I don't think there's the original like actual print of the movie. They have the original cells, but I'm sure they got rid of the cells once the print
Well,
once it was done.
so there's a story that I know from a friend of mine whose brother went to see people in Japan, and one of them was, I think, an animator for that movie for Akira.
Mm-hmm.
And literally on behind his shelf was just stacks of cells from the movie.
Oh, yeah,
And he's
yeah.
kept it
It's like
for
in
years,
envelopes.
and he's
Yeah.
just like flipping out over it. And he's like, "What's so great about this? This is
Yeah.
just, this is animation cells that we used to make
Yeah.
the movie. Like, why do you like? I don't get it." Like, this is the guy that actually worked on it. He's like, "You find value in this?"
Yeah.
Like, I heard this
They
story years
don't
ago.
there.
Yeah.
It's real. It's a weird culture thing. They just don't. I mean, they'll keep elements of it. Hence, that's why they were able to reuse elements from the
Well,
from other Dragon Ball
it's
Z.
the fans that'll go out and kind of dumpster dive for
Mhm.
animation studios and like put the cells in circulation at shops and resell them.
Yeah.
And there's an actual like market for animation cells. I've got a few of them myself from
Yeah.
different series.
And that's how we get like the Foundry, and they'll pick them up eventually, like the Foundry, and then they'll do an actual master, legit
Mhm.
original 16 or 35 millimeter original rescan of the original, so they can keep it digitally in full,
Mhm.
in full pristine order. So
Yeah, preservation is more important than people really give it credit for. I mean, the fans understand, studios do not. This is, I mean,
it's a cottage industry.
it's the biggest thing happening with video games right now.
Mm.
Preservation, trying to preserve everything.
Oh shit!
All right, guys.
Trying to dump
So
stuff.
we're at about the limit of what we can talk about for this fantastic movie since we've gone
Yeah.
over runtime.
What are we talking about again?
It's called
Who
Dragon
knows?
Ball Z: Wrath of the Dragon. It's my favorite one. It's way better than Tree of Might, which doesn't even make any sense. Why
Which is like the greatest movie.
So let's go ahead and we're gonna go around and rate the movie, and then we'll wrap it up here. I'm gonna start A plus because I really like the Dragon Fist.
I got a Dragon Fist for you.
D plus, and I'm probably being generous. There was just
Nick?
not many redeeming qualities.
We're done with you.
A D
Yeah.
plus, I guess too. Yeah, that's
Dustin.
I would suggest the Speedy Dub, 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. What is weird that we're all not doing out of 10 and you did.
Oh, I thought we were.
All right, so this might be an unexpected
We didn't
rating.
give his letter grade. Let him give his
But
letter
Can we
grade.
I
go by a
will-
GPA grading?
But I'll give this around a C plus. There's a lot of nostalgia in it. I love that type of era of anime, and I was definitely loving it. Just disregard the story and the dub and the music.
That's the whole point of
and,
all the movies. You just disregard the story.
So
Yeah, if you just don't pay attention to the movie, it's great.
if you want a nostalgia, if you just want nostalgia, there you go. Steve.
Stevesy?
I mean, I'd probably give it a C. I do like Tapion's character. I think he's cool design. So I think that's like one redeeming thing about the movie. He's cool design.
Yeah, I loved his design in Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
He was a little more fleshed out in Chrono Cross.
So we got an A plus, we got a D minus, we got a D, we got an 8.
8.5.
8.5. Don't forget
Like,
the
when you
0.5.
average that all out,
Decimals are important.
when you average that all out, you've got like a B plus.
Only for the Speedy Dub though.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
one's
Yeah, I've
arguing
only
with
been
me.
talking about Speedy Dub just so Dustin knows. Yeah,
Thank
which
you.
I never saw or heard.
It's on archive.org. There's the speed. Just type in like DBZ Speedy Dub or Dragon Ball Z's Speedy Dub, and you'll come across this and several other films that they dubbed.
You're like the
People-
only person I've ever heard actually mention archive.org.
Well, there's a lot of good stuff you can get on there. So
Well, I'm on
Yeah,
there for
there
other
is.
reasons
I mean, that's
that
how
I
I got
can't talk
Clockwork
about
Knight for
legally.
the Sega Saturn.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Nick, Stevesy, Claudian, you want to plug your podcast?
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, I'm doing it. Oh, okay. You can find us on Spotify and Apple, Build Bros, and then Instagram, Build Bros _MI. And then we got a network that we're on, Spawn Camp Co. Just look them up. That's got some gaming podcasts on there, as well as just some tech and a slice of life show too. So check those out if you get a chance. It's a fun time.
Excellent. We'll put those in the show notes. I mean, I can't promise that. That's something Justin does. But I always tell people
Well-
we will.
We'll think about it.
Hopefully you guys are better than Funimation on that.
Nobody's better than Funimation.
Well,
Dustin?
Funimation doesn't exist anymore, so
Yeah,
what
it's
does
top
it
tier.
matter?
Hey, we can't talk about Big Dub.
Yeah, I'm Dustin. I make up the two entities of the Anime of Yesteryear podcast, and if you go to our website, you realize that we haven't uploaded anything since February or March because we've got recordings and I'm still working on them, and I'm just going to release one super big episode and then not touch anything for 6
that
months.
big project.
Yeah,
Big plan.
it's like releasing a big novel. You can take it in chunks, and by the time you're probably done with it, I might have another one out. So
Let me tell you
Dustin's
something,
just
man.
holding out for Tony
Nothing's-
Hawk.
Dustin, nothing's making me madder nowadays than all the new streaming services releasing one episode a week.
Yep.
If you're a streaming service, you need to release it as a season, and that's what you're
Mhm.
doing, and I appreciate
yeah,
it.
it's like the Stranger Things thing where you can just
Yeah.
binge I mean, I think if you binge on our stuff, you might find a gun to your head, but I would recommend taking it in pieces personally. It's I mean, if you think our stuff is better than Stranger Things, then you need real professional help. But other than that, like, we have opinions, whether or not you agree with them or not, but they're out there. So
About Stranger
eventually,
Things?
oh no, I meant our
Tony
content.
Hawk?
About Tony Hawk's Boom
We
Boom
need to-
Sabotage?
I need it.
Tony
Yeah,
Hawk.
we need to, I think one of us has brought up Boom Boom Sabotage at one point a while. Like, we'll talk about whatever in terms of animation. So, like, we've got con reviews coming out. Like, a buddy of mine, a buddy and me, he went to Anime Boston. I was at MomoCon the same weekend, and they both sort of interlace with each other in some way. So that'll come out at some point. Editing takes time. I used to be very diligent about it, and then I got older, and I just gave less craps now. But I'm still
You
doing
just
it.
want to record, never put anything out.
Yeah, well, I
These
have
are my
to
personal
eventually.
recordings of my podcast that only I can listen to.
We only have one listener. Hey.
Our joke is our one of our co-hosts is like, oh, he calls it the listener because he just believes that somebody out there is listening to it, just the one person. But then it's like, we're getting traffic to the site.
The government.
Let me
Yeah, the
let me tell
government
you,
knows.
man. Sometimes you think no one's listening, but I used to host a podcast about the OC, the 2000s teen drama on Fox, and
Wow.
we went over the whole series, and like we were done with it. We had nothing left to do, and then a year later, I get an email from this girl who's like, "Hey, I love your show. I've been emailing your brother for like a year. Is there any way we can do a show together?" So there's always
Well,
someone
the
listening.
the OC
true.
is a lot more popular than anime, or at least was at the time.
I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah, definitely
No,
not. No.
yeah, nobody cares about the OC. That's ancient. But
They all went to Supernatural.
well, now it's all CW superhero shows, and apparently those are being canceled because they're garbage, from what I understand. So
Arrow was good for a couple of years.
that was
It
the
was.
only one I hear that's good.
Yeah.
Riverdale, I hear it's doing its own thing. Like, it's in Bizarro World. It just gets crazier and crazier. And I never started with it, so whatever.
All right, whatever, guys. We're gonna wrap it up. So to all our our one listener, make sure you tune in next week. We're doing 2 episodes. We're going to finally do the Saiyan Saga review, which we did not do that one night because one person fell asleep, and then literally no one had the gumption to make it happen. And then we're going to do that on Thursday, and then on Friday we're doing our big Dragon Ball quiz, the biggest quiz we've ever done, and the winner gets a super special prize, which is going to be a screenshot of an animation cell.
It's a great prize.
Yeah.
I feel gypped. Well, I have to win it first.
You have to win before you can feel gypped.
Yeah.
Well, if they did
I'm
do a spell,
gonna have to. Hopefully, I can get my co-host on here because he knows a whole lot more about Dragon Ball than I do. So
Yeah.
if
We're happy to have you. You guys can team up, whatever you want to do.
yeah, well, if he can let us team up, I'm just gonna give him like 90% of the work.
I've been working on questions. I've got dozens of them. It's just
Okay.
it flows.
It's gonna be an interesting one.
When you're
I'll
passionate about
have to let him know and be like, dude, just get your sleep done early, and then you can just stay up, and then yeah.
10:30 is a perfect time to podcast. What's this?
Dude,
It is.
okay, so he's out in Arizona and I'm in South Carolina, so like it is past 12:30 here,
That's not-
and I gotta get up early in the morning. So
Aren't you glad I found you?
I'm not. Anyways, but I'm here. I'm being a good sport. So
it better be
All
a
right.
cell from Wrath of the Dragon. I'm just saying.
It was a
there
great
you
film.
go.
Mark,
better be
you
a
want to
cell
go ahead and
from-
take us out?
Yeah. So, like Josh said, everyone, stay tuned in next week for the double feature. And now that you've made it to this point, make sure you very carefully rewind that tape, put it under your dad's bed, and sprinkle some dust on there so they don't know he doesn't know you took it out. And stay tuned till next week for another edition of your dad's anime stash.
We're on Facebook and YouTube.
No, we're not. It doesn't matter. No, obviously, Facebook and is Dad's Anime Stash. If you want to recommend an anime, you can email us at dadsanimestash@gmail.com, and we'll add you to the glorious wheel, the all-powerful glorious wheel. And make sure you leave a review when you've made it this far. And we'll see you guys twice next week. And then stay tuned for the super extra special surprise for the week after that. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. I'm out of here.